Hello students, as you know we are studying about bryophytes, and in bryophytes we are discussing about the types of the bryophytes, and I have already discussed about liverworts. Today we will discuss about the mosses and differences between the liverworts and mosses. The mosses, the first one, where the mosses they grow or where they are found regarding their habitat. The mosses also grow in the moist and shady places, on the tree trunk, on the surface of the rocks, on the soil. So the mosses they are well flourished on the tree trunk, rocks, and in other moist and shady places. Second, regarding the plant body, how the mosses or the moss plant it looks. The moss plant is slightly advanced than the liverworts. As I told you, the liverworts like Markinsia, the plant body is thyloid in nature. But here, the moss plant is slightly advanced than the Markinsia, than the liverworts. And each moss has two stages in their life cycle. Either it is funaria or sphagnum or polytrichum. So many mosses are there. Actually, mosses are the group containing so many plants. And very simple moss plant which is found around us, the name of that moss is funaria. And the species is hygrometrica, Funaria hygrometrica. Peat moss, we have already discussed about the scientific name of the peat moss, that is sphagnum. Other mosses are also there. So, the moss plant has two stages in their life cycle, and that is, the first one is the protonema stage and the second one is the leafy stage. The main plant of the bryophyte, earlier we have already discussed whether all the kinds of the bryophytes, whether Markinsia, Pilia, Porella, Anthoceras, Sphagnum, whether it is liverworts or mosses. In all the cases, the main plant is gametophyte. But here in the mosses, the two stages comes in the life cycle of the moss plant, like Funaria. The first one is the protonema stage and the second one is the leafy stage. So how many stages are there? Two stages, protonema, and the second one is the leafy stage. The protonema, this stage is filamentous, and this protonema stage is produced by the spores which comes from the capsule. I will teach you about this leafy stage. The capsule produces so many spores, and when spores they come outside, each spore can produce a protonema stage. So protonema stage is present for the short duration, and this protonema stage is thyloid in nature. It is filamentous in shape, containing so many cells, and it creeps over the surface of the soil, and it is also branched. So it is green in structure. The protonema stage of the moss, it is green in structure, it looks green. It acts as a creeper, it creeps over the surface of the substratum. The protonema stage is multicellular and branched. And the protonema stage, it is already, because the main plant is gametophyte, so it is haploid in nature. And later on, the protonema stage, it forms some of the secondary protonema, that is bud. And when the bud is detached from the protonema stage, it gives rise to the new plant, the main plant, which is leafy in nature. So the leafy stage, the second one, it is produced by the secondary protonema, or you can say by the bud, by the fragment, which are produced, which are derived from the protonema stage. And protonema stage is formed, is produced by the spores, and these spores are produced inside the capsule, inside the sporophyte of the leafy plant. Now, the second stage, that is the leafy stage. This stage, the leafy stage, it lasts for the maximum duration in their life cycle. This is ephemeral, it comes only for the shorter duration. But this stage you can't observe by your naked eye. The protonema stage we can observe under the microscope, but the leafy stage we can see by our naked eye. This is the advanced stage, and this stage is the main stage which is present in our surrounding also. And this stage or visual can be observed by our naked eye. The moss plant, this leafy stage, has the leaf-like structure, that's why it is called leafy stage. And all these leaves are arranged, they are spirally arranged on the stem, but the true stem is absent here in the moss plant. This is called main axis or central cylinder. The main axis means it looks just like the stem, and so many spirally leaves, they are arranged on this main axis. And the true roots are absent here. The roots are also, the rhizoids are also present, and the rhizoids, they work just like the roots of the plant. The rhizoids absorb water and minerals from outside. These are the leaves. This is the main axis, or you can say it just look like the stem like in structure, but the true stem is absent. Now about the rhizoids, here the rhizoids are branched and multicellular. The rhizoids are like this, they are branched and they are multicellular, means each rhizoid, each root-like structure, the rhizoid is made up of so many cells. That's why it is said to be what? Multicellular. And the rhizoids, they are also like this, they are branched. Now about the reproduction. How the process of reproduction takes place in the moss plant. The reproduction is of two types. These are vegetative, and the second one is the sexual reproduction. The vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation and budding. As you know, in the case of fragmentation, the body of the protonema, this filamentous form, is broken down into so many fragments, and each fragment can produce the new body, new leafy stage, or new moss plant. In the case of budding, the secondary protonema, so many bud-like structures, they are produced on the protonema stage, and when the bud gets detached from the protonema, from the filamentous body, each bud can produce the new plant, or you can say the new moss plant, and which is leafy in nature. Now about the sexual reproduction. The sexual reproduction takes place in the main plant, in the leafy stage plant. In the case of sexual reproduction, the two types of sex organs are produced, and these are male and female sex organs. The male sex organ is called antheridium, while the female sex organ is called archegonium. The antheridium and archegonium, both they are born on the same plant, either on the different plant. In some of the species, the male antheridium is born on one plant, the archegonium on another plant. But in majority, like in Funaria, the male and female sex organs, which are antheridium and archegonium, both they are born on the same plant, and that's why the plant is monoecious. On one branch, there may be the antheridium. In some other branch, it may be the female sex organ, may be the archegonium. As you know, antheridium, it produces the male gametes, and these male gametes are called antherozoites. The female sex organ, that is archegonium, produces egg. When antherozoites are discharged from the antheridium, the antherozoites, they come to the archegonium, and any one antherozoid can fuse with the egg which is present in the archegonium, and this process of the fusion of the male and female gametes, this is called fertilization, or you can say syngamy. So fertilization here is the process of the fusion of antherozoid to the egg which is present inside the archegonium to produce zygote. And it is very, very important in moss plant also. The water is required for the process of fertilization. As you know, in the liverworts, we have already discussed that without water, the process of fertilization doesn't take place, because antherozoites, they are motile, and egg, it is non-motile. So antherozoites, they swim, and the antherozoites, they come inside the archegonium, and any one antherozoid can fuse with the egg to form zygote. So water is essential for the process of fertilization, whether it is liverwort or mosses. Now regarding the sporophyte, as you know, after the process of fertilization, what is the product of fertilization? Zygote. And the zygote is formed inside the archegonium. After the zygote formation, other cells of the archegonium, which are neck, venter, they get dissolved. And zygote, it develops into the main sporophytic plant. You can say from here up to here, this is the sporophytic plant. And here also, the sporophyte is differentiated into the foot, seta and capsule. In the moss plant, foot is not well developed like liverwort. It is underdeveloped. So this is inside the foot. It absorbs food from the gametophytic plant. Then the seta, and this one is the capsule. So the sporophyte, all the cells of the sporophyte, they are diploid in nature. The sporophyte depends on the gametophyte to absorb the food material, and especially the capsule, which is present at the terminal portion of the sporophyte. The capsule produces spores by the process of meiosis division, and inside the capsule, so many spores they are produced, and later on, when the capsules they are ruptured, the spores they come outside, and each spore can produce again a new protonema stage, a filamentous form, or you can say a new plant body. But the spore here, in the case of moss, the spore never directly produce the new sporophytic plant. The leafy plant. First it forms the spore, it forms the protonema stage. Again, the secondary protonema, or you can say the birds, they produce the new leafy plant. So this is all about the life cycle of the moss plant, that is Funaria. Because mosses include so many plants: Funaria, Anthoceras, Sphagnum, Polytrichum, and the main moss plant is Funaria hygrometrica. So we have already discussed about the life cycle of the Funaria. Now I have taught you the both liverworts and mosses. Let us see what are the differences between the liverworts and mosses. The liverworts and mosses you can compare because both the topics I have been covered. The liverworts, they are dorsiventral, while mosses are radial in symmetry. What do you mean by dorsiventral? We have already discussed, like in the case of Markensia, the body has two surfaces, the dorsal surface and ventral surface. But in the case of moss plant, these two surfaces are absent, and the body has what kind of the symmetry? Radial symmetry. As you know, in the case of radial symmetry, when we cut any body by considering the central axis, and if it is divided equally in all the halves, there is no dorsal, there is no ventral surface, the symmetry of this pen is also radial. There is no dorsal surface, there is no ventral at all. So here also, in the case of moss plant, the body symmetry is what? Radial. In liverworts, the second one, the body of the liverworts like Markensia, Pilia, Porella, Anthoceras, Rixia, Markensia, Pilia, Porella. In the case of liverworts, in all the cases, the body is what? Thyloid in nature. The body is thyloid like this. Just you can remember. The body is made up of thallus, or it is thyloid in nature. The body is not differentiated into the roots, stem and leaf-like structure. But the mosses, the main body is foliose in structure. Means it is advanced. Means the leaves are present, very small leaves they are present, and all these leaves, they are spirally arranged on the main axis, or you can say central axis. So here the body is thyloid, but in the case of mosses, the main body is foliose, or you can say leafy in structure, except filamentous form, that is protonema. The main body is foliose. Here the midrib absent. As you know, in the case of Markensia, or you can say in the case of liverworts, the leaves are absent, and that's why the midrib is absent. But here midrib is present. You can say this is the leaf, and in the leaf you can say this is the main vein, and this main vein is called midrib. So the midrib is absent in the case of liverwort, but here because leaves are present, and that's why the midribs are present. The rhizoids are unicellular and unbranched. Here also rhizoids are present, but these rhizoids, which are root in structure, each rhizoid is unicellular in nature, made up of a single cell. But here the rhizoids are multicellular. So, and here the rhizoids are unbranched, but here the rhizoids are branched. So regarding the rhizoids of liverworts are unicellular and unbranched, while the rhizoids of mosses, they are multicellular and branched. Plants bear scales, but scales are absent. Some small projections. The scales, the fine hairs, These are present in the case of liverworts, but these scales are absent in the case of mosses. Now the next one is the conducting tissues absent. The liverworts, the plant body is thyroid in nature. The whole plant body, they are just into the contact of the substratum, and that's why there is no need to transport materials from one place to the another place. The plants are not erect. The whole body, they are attached with the substratum, and the conducting tissues like xylem, phloem, the transporting system is absent in the case of liverwort. But here in the case of mosses, because mosses, they are slightly advanced than the liverworts, the conducting tissues, they are present. But here the conducting tissues in the case of mosses, they are not differentiated into the xylem and phloem like the angiospermic plant. But it has been observed that some of the tissues, they are present, and these tissues, they are responsible for the conduction of the water and minerals from downwards to the upward, and also they transport food materials from one place to the another place. They are not advanced like the angiospermic plant, but still the specialized tissues are present to transport the materials from one place to the another place. So overall you can say the conducting tissues are absent in the case of liverworts, while the conducting tissues, or you can say the transporting tissues, they are found in the case of mosses. Protonema stage is absent in the case of Markensia, like in the case of all the liverworts, either it is Rixia, Markensia. The protonema stage, the body has only one stage, and which stage is thyroid in nature. But as I told you, in the case of mosses, the plant body has two stages, and these are protonema and the leaf stage. So the protonema stage is absent, while in the case of mosses, the protonema stage is present. So that's all about the liverworts and mosses. Today I finished this division also Bryophytes. From tomorrow onwards I will start tomorrow Pteridophytes. But before, you can write some of the questions related to the topics which I have been taught to you. Question number 1, write down. What is the mode of reproduction in mosses? What is the mode of reproduction in mosses? Second, write the habitat of mosses. Question number 3, differentiate between protonema and filamentous stage. Differentiate between protonema and leafy. Differentiate between protonema and leafy stage of mosses. Question number 4, name the male and female sex organs. Name the male and female sex organs of moss plant. And also make a diagram. Which represents sporophyte of moss plant. Which represents sporophyte of the moss plant. And the last question is, differentiate between liverworts and mosses. Differentiate between liverworts and mosses. Any 5. So that's all for today. Thanks everyone.